Hi guys, Brexiteers are becoming more and more desperate over what they see as rejoining the EU via the back door, or some plan to be part of the bloc via the Labour Party. Here, former member of the Brexit Party Ben Habib suggests that Tony Blair has a sinister plan. It involves getting Keir Starmer into number 10. But it doesn't stop there. It includes giving asylum seekers the vote so the UK can be back into the EU. Completely unhinged tripe, but I think it shows either the desperation from Brexiteers or perhaps the desperation of Ben Habib to remain relevant, if he ever was. Have a listen.
But his aim, as he disclosed in the last week, is to get us to rejoin the European Union.
Yeah.
He was the champion of the second referendum back in 2017 through to 2019, and now he wants Keir Starmer in power. Once he gets Keir Starmer in power, he's going to give the vote to 6.5 million EU settled member state citizens in the United Kingdom. They get the vote, the 16-year-olds get the vote.
And prisoners.
And prisoners. and no doubt all the people who've come across from France over the channel, they'll no doubt get the vote too, and we'll be back in the European Union.
Look, I don't know if he's pretending, if he's trying to joke here, that, well, asylum seekers are going to get the vote too. He may be joking, but of course it plays on the paranoia of Brexiteers and racists and bigots who, you know, we don't want asylum seekers here at all. Can you imagine giving them the vote? They're not going to get the vote, okay? When it comes to European citizens, well, these are people contributing to society. These are people paying taxes. They're paying into the exchequer, either directly or indirectly. In the same way as I believe that British citizens living in the EU should be given the vote in the EU. I don't know why Ben Habib has a problem with people who are contributing to society having a chance at democracy. But when it comes to democracy, we know that Brexiteers have had enough of democracy. They don't want any more democracy. Even if a majority of British people, we're not talking about EU citizens living in the UK, we're talking about British citizens. A majority of voters and citizens want to rejoin the EU. They've had enough of Brexit. But from Brexiteers, no, you're not allowed another vote. You know, we've had enough democracy. We don't want any more. You know, you're allowed to change your government, but you're not allowed to change your opinion on Brexit. Liz Truss changed her opinion on Brexit, but nobody else is allowed to. But once again, this idea that maybe he's joking when he says about asylum seekers, he was sort of laughing. But of course, this plays into the paranoia of the racists and bigots. You know, oh, they're getting houses, they're getting welfare, they're getting everything, a car, they're getting, this is the sort of propaganda that has been pumped into people's brains over the last number of years, decades even, from the likes of the Express or the Daily Mail or the Sun, that asylum seekers are on the take. And of course, the nail in the coffin for the United Kingdom would be giving them the vote. Once again, he may be joking here, but some people actually believe that.
So Tony Blair, this Draculesque character who pulls global strings and is having his own global strings pulled by big money, is going to be running the United Kingdom again. And I think that's a very good reason. But his...
unfortunately, they cut off the clip there. But so Tony Blair will be running the United Kingdom. Now, back to the point of, well, this is how we get back into the EU. No, the way the United Kingdom, I believe, would get back into the EU would be via another referendum. So the Labour Party, or perhaps a future Conservative Party, you know, let's not forget that the Conservatives will do anything for power. So a future Labour government or Conservative government will say, here is a referendum, let's rejoin the EU. And it's there's a majority in support of having another referendum. We're going to have another referendum. But it will be the people that will decide. I have always said it should have been a parliamentary decision. It should have been the politicians deciding. It should have been part of a manifesto, and then people voted for that. Because unfortunately, people were told, well, let's leave the European Union. Here's a referendum, vote in or out, and people didn't understand what that meant. Obviously, they didn't understand what that meant because people are complaining about the consequences of Brexit now. the ending of freedom of movement, and other consequences facing businesses or the NHS or farming or whatever. So people didn't know what they were voting for. Didn't know what the single market was or the customs union was. They didn't actually know what the European Union did for Britain and Britain's role in the European Union. So once again, if Brexiteers love democracy, then they should be campaigning for another referendum. More democracy, because, that's what Brexit was all about. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.